so much for clicking on this video. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you're not. I love you and I missed you so much. I usually do crochet videos, wrestling videos, lifestyle vlogs, and whatever I want right now for real. So for today's video, I'm switching things up and I really wanted to talk about and do a deep dive into burnout. It's a term that I've heard thrown around a lot recently in the crochet world, in the wrestling community, amongst my peers in school, and it's applicable in so many different aspects. And it's something that I've really struggled with and realized that I've been struggling with. So I've been doing some research. I hit up Google Scholar and have just really been trying to understand what's really going on inside of my head when I'm feeling these emotions, and hopefully that'll help me to get myself on a better path. I did all that reading and shit so you don't have to. I'm also going to be making my first ever sourdough loaf. So excited, but it's mainly going to be about the podcast and you're just going to be watching me make some bread. And also I got this crop top today. Picked her up. She's absolutely gorgeous. She was made by one of my friends, Danielle. She makes blankets, crop tops, plushies. She's an absolutely amazing, beautiful woman. I love her so much. But anywho's, let's talk about burnout and get this bread. What is burnout? So whenever you're experiencing burnout, you're just going through a state of like deep psychological distress. And the psychological definition of burnout is, okay, I'm gonna put the actual definition right here. So I'm just gonna be paraphrasing off what I kind of remember. But it's a state of emotional, physical, and mental distress that's caused by like a prolonged stress period. The term burnout came originally from the psychologist Herbert Freudenberger and Gail North, and they developed the 12 stages of burnout, which is what I've mainly been studying whenever I've been looking and researching. There's 12 stages, like it's a lot, and you really won't even realize like and feel the physical like, oh my god, I'm burnt out effects until you're in like stage 5, I believe, stage 5 or 6. But one of the later stages. But like ever since studying it, I've been able to clock it real quick when I'm in like stage 2 or 3, and then I'm like, oh, hold up. So I'm actually really excited to share this with you guys because I feel like just learning about it has helped me be more mindful of it. Okay, let me stop yapping. Stage 1. Okay, before stage 1, quick little side note, I do think that I fucked up my sourdough. I really think that I messed it up because I didn't have enough starter. I didn't feed it enough, but I wanted fucking bread. So I looked up a recipe to use 50 grams of starter, but I really don't know, chat. I really don't know, but we're gonna see. Now to stage 1. All right, I'm about to do my first set of stretch and folds. Stage 1 is basically characterized by the compulsion or like obsession to sort of like prove yourself. And it can honestly look really good at first. It can be really productive. You can be really on your fucking shit, getting stuff done, feeling good, feeling great. And you can be taking on more responsibilities, just piling on the workload because like you're on top of the world. Like, hell yeah, give it to me. I got it. And also whenever you're doing this, you're setting like expectations for yourself to do well. Fuck, how many times did I do that? This can literally be applied in every single fucking aspect of your life. At work, at school, even in like personal relationships with your sport, all of the above. At this stage, like everything feels exciting and like you thrive off pressure. Like that's something that I always said. Now, I don't know, I'm a little crash out now when I get stressed. Anyways. Stretch and fold / stage 2. Whenever you get to stage 2, you are just working harder and harder to achieve things and just to prove to yourself like, yeah, you know, like I do got this. And just being the little overachiever that you are. This is when you're staying at work late, you're staying up until ungodly hours, studying, and you're just pushing yourself in ways that aren't sustainable long term. Stage 2 is just straight like motivation and adrenaline. It still doesn't really feel like a problem because like you're still functioning, like you're still getting shit done, like, and you could just feel like really motivated right now, which like that's great for you, and I love that for you. But I'll notice this stage in my life kind of like after I've been chilling for a little bit and like things start picking up in my life, and I'm like, okay, I got like 2 crochet orders, let me get these orders in. Ooh, I have these assignments, yeah, pile them on. Ooh, on top of that, let me get an extra workout in for wrestling, yeah, please. And on top of that, let me just decorate my apartment and start on a rug, a 5x7 rug, like, bitch, bye. But yeah, then I just keep piling shit on and on until I'm in stage 3. In between stretch and folds with my love. This is soup. Okay, back to the content. Stretch and fold number 3, going into stage 3, which is where you start to neglect your personal needs and personal care. So this is like when you tell yourself like, oh, I just don't have time to eat right or to cook for myself. I'll just sleep whenever I'm done, or no, I don't need to go work out just because like I'm too busy, I need to get my stuff done. And so like your personal needs like sleeping and relaxing, working out and eating just go on the back burner a little bit because you're so focused on what you need to do and what you need to get done. And this is where I've really started like clocking myself and really checking my shit. Well, I'm just going to organize my desk a little bit while I just talk a little bit about how I've noticed this like in my personal life. Literally today, literally this morning. I thought it was crazy, but I woke up this morning. I've been super motivated, super energized with crocheting recently and crocheting specifically decorations for my apartment. And I was literally awake until like 3:30 in the morning crocheting, which is fucking crazy. I'm literally a grandma. I'd be in bed. I woke up this morning at around like 8:30-ish, and literally the first thing that I did, I checked TikTok, and then I got up and I went to my couch and started crocheting again and just picking up where I left off last night. And about 10 minutes in, I was like, hold up, clock it. Let me get ready to start my day. And so then I went and I brushed my teeth, I made my breakfast, I made my coffee. And then after that, I took a step back and I was like, wait, I have been adding a whole lot of things onto my plate. And I have felt super worked up, super, let's get at them. So let me just reflect, take a step back. I honestly found it really surprising in my research how most of the studies that have been done on burnout are about like burnout in the workplace and having to do with work, even though like it really does affect every single aspect of your life. Like it's really not just work that can burn you out. Anyways, on to stage 4. The 4th stage of burnout is when you start to displace like your conflicts, and you really just start displacing like your values and really where your problems are stemming from. And so your stress is going to start manifesting itself in ways that, oh my god, this shit got stuck. That just aren't directly related to your stressor and like what's stressing you out. And instead of addressing like the root cause of your problem and what's stressing you out, which is either your workload, you're not sleeping enough, it's really easy to just shift your anger and frustration out onto something irrelevant and something that's just there. And it's just, that shit will just come out in an unhealthy and just like unproductive way as fuck. And something that I've noticed this in my personal life a lot because I am a certified crash out, like D1 certified crash out. So whenever I have like a lot of assignments and a lot of orders piled up, it's during wrestling season, I'm cutting weight, I will literally snap at anyone and everything. I will absolutely go into hysterics over nothing type shit, just because all of that stress is just built up in there. And I'm not letting it out. It's just really easy to get carried away, and it just gets to a certain point where I just feel so unmotivated for everything that like I gotta get done. That's the last set of stretch and folds, so she's just gonna ferment. I'm gonna feed Naruto again because I really do want like a successful loaf of bread. I'm gonna feed the starter again so that in the morning I can use that to make more dough in case the one that I already started tonight doesn't work out. Once you hit the fifth step, or the fifth stage, I should say, of burnout, that's when like the amount of stress that you're under is gonna start making you kind of change your values and your priorities. Not in a healthy way. It's whenever like work and your stressors or just whatever you're focusing on, your responsibilities, that really starts to take center stage in your life and controls most of your just like thought process and time. So like things that you used to prioritize and that used to be really important to you, like self-care or hanging out with friends or working out, hobbies, reading, crocheting, just really take the back burner and get neglected. I'm feeding this a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio. But anyways, once you get to this point, your work and your obligations and responsibilities of life just feel like the only things that matter. And just like some personal examples of where I really struggle with this personally is definitely wrestling and just my sport, just with practices and my weight cuts. It's just very, very consuming of just my time and my energy. And so it's really hard for me to just set boundaries with that, I guess. It's really hard for me to do anything other than like what I feel like I should be doing, if that makes sense. So like if I'm crocheting, I'm going to be like, oh, I could be doing homework instead right now. Or if I'm doing my extra workout, I could be like, oh my gosh, I could be crocheting right now. Literally, I could be laying down, resting, being like, I could be doing absolutely anything right now. But if you've ever felt like this, just know that you are definitely not alone. But it is a stage of burnout. You are almost halfway there, my friend. I'm getting ready to tell you about a little river in Egypt. The denial stage is basically just your nothing is wrong stage. Like Miss Dochi said, denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is good. Anyways, this is just where you're brushing off all of the signs that your burnout and what you're going through is like actually really affecting you and like fucking up your life. You may find yourself blaming other factors such as like your time, like there's not enough of it, or the resources that you have available. In this stage, you can still be productive. It just feels like so much more work to do what it is that you're doing type shit. At least personally for me, once I start hitting this stage, this is really where I start to personally detach from everything and everyone, because I've got my friends and family telling me like, oh my god, Deandra, you're such a bitch right now. And I'm just like where it's the most apparent to me is definitely with wrestling and definitely with my sport and just like dealing with injuries. They snapped that bitch back, gave me half a honey bun and told me to get my ass right back out there type shit. So it's really not the best environment really that encourages rest. It definitely rewards like overworking yourself and tiring yourself to like be the best. I definitely ignore a lot of my burnout signs when it comes to wrestling, and like that'll lead to like, good morning. Wow. Hello.
that just leads to overall exhaustion, which is something that I found in the way of not going to practice for literally an entire week. And like, bitch, I woke up. Like, I got up. There were 2 days that week where I woke back up in my bed after practice time in my practice clothes type shit. But like, I really just could not be bothered at all. So like, your body will take care of you at the end of the day, regardless of what you want to know. All of this just leads you to losing the joy and love for what it is that you're doing. But you're just like, meh, mine. After the denial stage, I fucked this up. God damn it, it's not jiggly. I messed it up. God damn it. I'm still gonna fucking try it. But anyways, after denial, your burnout is gonna start to create kind of like a divide in between you and the outside world, your personal life. You're gonna start to withdraw from friends and family, from work. And like, social interactions can just really start to feel so draining for you, and just like, it takes a lot of your energy and of your time, and it's just really enjoying isolation. Like, also in this stage, because you're drawing yourself back, you're isolating yourself, you may feel pretty lonely. I know that happens to fucking everybody. Like, it'd be like that. I have to get this in a rectangle, so I'm gonna try and let gravity do its work. And it's just like, that's where I really start feeling like, oh my gosh, my cup feels so empty. I'm just going through a lot. I'm just going to steamroll right into the next point. Once you hit stage 8, like, that shit is not just mental anymore. Like, it is full blown, like, in your life type shit, and will cause like behavioral changes and how you act. And so this can look like you being pretty short-tempered or getting frustrated easily. Your productivity and your motivation definitely drop at this stage. And this is where unhealthy coping mechanisms come into play. And I could really talk about this a lot, because during this stage, a lot of people turn to drinking, drug use, overeating. And I personally, like, I'm not going to get too into that, just because, like, it's YouTube and the internet is forever. But I have I have struggled with multiple forms of just trying to cope. And, like, people around you will start telling you, like, hey, bitch, you good? Like, I feel like I'm going to have a gummy and dense loaf. I don't think I proved this right, but we will see. Alright. Oh, fuck. So this bitch gonna go in here for a little bit. Please bake well. Good luck. She's out of the oven now. This is what she's looking like. She's a little flat, so I'm pretty scared that I got a hockey puck, but it's okay because it's all trial and error. But whatever. I've got my second round of dough made, and it's resting right now before the stretch and folds. And I just wanted a change of scenery because it's absolutely beautiful outside, and I just wanted to soak up some vitamin D while I keep talking to you. The next stage is depersonalization, and that's just where you're just completely numb, and where you've reached the point of just like feeling so disconnected from yourself, from your work, from your family, from your friends, from your relationships. And life will just start feeling like you're just going through the motions of things. There's just like a deep sense of cynicism and just feeling like, what's the point? Like, there's literally no point. You've lost sight of your goals, of your passions, and just like where you're at. So it's really important to check yourself and just think like, when was the last time that I actually enjoyed something and did something for me? Just like reconnect with your why, with like why you're doing everything for that stage. But this is where like these later stages is really when burnout starts to become like very like serious, low-key, like you need like professional help. And there's this really cool way that I heard in a podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but I really have done such a huge deep dive into this because of how much it's been deeply affecting me and my life. But the way that she kind of summarized these last couple of stages, it's like she analogized it. Anyway, she used the analogy of being a server, of being a waitress, which I have been, and kind of just whenever you're swamped, you're in a rush, and you need to ask people for help. And then, like, as things just keep piling onto your plate, you keep getting sat, people keep getting orders, people keep wanting refills. You ask for help, and your coworkers are around you, they're asking what you need. But if stuff keeps like piling on, it's eventually going to get to the point where like you just need to step away and go into that walk-in and scream or cry or do whatever you got to do, because it's like all just too much and other people have to take on those responsibilities for you. And that's kind of what happens as you get basically past stage 8 or 9 in this process of burnout into it becoming a full-blown syndrome. Stage 10 is where you've kind of just lost your emotional connection for real. And this is really the stage where looking for gratification with either drugs or alcohol or food or even like over exercising and just like that really starts to turn into a problem, like an addiction. Like you rely on that source for your only, like that is the only way you feel something type shit. It may not even be as severe as going to the point of alcoholism or substance abuse, but it could literally even just be like you're feeling so burnt out and so numb that like literally the only thing that you can do is just sit in front of the TV and just rot and just like you're just like, if you've been there, you know, and like I've definitely been there. If you've still reached this stage and it's gone unchecked, then it will go and develop into stage 11, which is just depression. And like this is where mental illnesses will start to set in and really develop. And trigger warning, just like a little bit. But at this stage, this is where unfortunately a lot of people don't make it past this stage, because genuinely just the mental toll that it takes on you is so severe and it's so serious and so heavy. And people do commit suicide over just feeling burnt out and just getting to the point of like, I literally just don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. And if you're watching this video and you feel like you're at this point, I'm going to put some numbers on the screen that you can call. Like, reach out to your support system. Like, if it gets this far, please search for professional help. Seriously, like, I love you. Someone out here loves you. And like, there's always a reason to keep going. Life is so beautiful. After stage 11, it's just stage 12 is full-blown burnout syndrome. Like, it is a syndrome. Your body and mind have both just kind of shut off and you are just in straight just hermit mode. Like, this is when like you physically cannot get out of bed. The most routine tasks genuinely take so much out of you, and just like your emotional and mental stability is just completely all out of whack. Like, you could literally just forget to answer a text and have a complete full-blown meltdown over that bitch. Once it has developed to burnout syndrome, like full blown, like it does take a while to recover from that, just like mentally and sometimes like physically. Whenever like your mental will affect your physical, well, at least it does for me a lot. And so like physical problems can start to develop because of burnout, and like those can take a while to come back from. Like you could have a heart attack, like strokes, like shit like that. So once I started like researching it and like looking more into it, like that's what made me really be like, damn, like I really gotta clock my shit. I really gotta fucking be on my boundaries, because like I already have enough issues as it is, and I'm young, so like why I don't want to cause any more problems for myself just because of how much I stress myself out, and just because I want to do so many things, I want to push myself so hard. All in all, burnout is very real and very serious. If you found yourself relating to any of the stages that I've talked about in this video, I just want you to know that you are not alone. Just because you get burnt out, that does not mean in any way, shape, or form that you're weak or that you just can't handle life. It just means that you were running on empty for a little too long. Something that my dad told me when I was in a super, super hard spot that I remember so well is that life is a marathon. Literally, life is a marathon, and you have to pace yourself in order to really do well and succeed, because like we're in this bitch for the long haul. And if you just start sprinting at mile 4 for like half an hour, like you're gonna gas out. Good luck finishing that race. But some of my main takeaways and things that I've been actually applying to my life to kind of just help offset burnout and just to not even get to that point, to help me kind of prevent that, is definitely setting boundaries is something that I've been working on, and just saying no whenever my plate's already full and I already feel like I'm stretched thin, and just having that balance of like, no, I am doing enough. Like, I'm not Superwoman. Literally, that bitch is fake. She was made up. You are not a machine. You are a human being. Also, something I've started doing more is just taking intentional breaks and taking intentional rest. And that doesn't have to be just sleeping. That can be in other forms. So like for me, a way that I've been resting and just really trying to refill my cup back up has been through music and just writing songs and playing the piano and just singing and just reconnecting with what you love. So for me, like I haven't really practiced music consistently in around 2 years, which for me is crazy. Like when I first went into college, I was a music major. Like that's what I wanted to do for my life. And so now that it's just become such a small little, like, I'm just trying to like feed more into that area. With reconnecting, that counts for your relationships too. So like whenever I burn out, one of the things that I start doing is I'll cut off communication with my friends and family, and I'll just get in my own little bubble. And when you're recovering from this, like you're gonna need a support system. You're gonna want a support system, and just people that love you and really care for you around you, that want you to be the best version of you. And if one of your passions or one of your hobbies starts to feel like a chore or like a job, like put it down for a little bit, babe. Like just do something for you, because at the end of the day, life really is so beautiful, so beautiful. And I just don't want to live my life anymore revolved around stressors and just revolved around like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Am I like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Oh my gosh, I need it. And just like constantly driving myself crazy to the point where I burn out and I spiral. Like I just want to, you know. To update on my sourdough, my first loaf kind of came out okay. I underproofed it, so it didn't really rise that much, and it was a little dense. So I'm just going to turn that into breadcrumbs. But my second loaf turned out pretty good. I overproofed that one, but she was so yummy and is basically all gone now. So I'll just put little right in there. But burnout is not the end of the road. It's just a little obstacle in the journey of life. It's your body and mind's way of telling you that something's not right and something needs to change. I'm challenging you to just prioritize yourself. If you feel like you're struggling with this, really put yourself first. At the end of the day, your well-being matters so much more than your productivity and what you can get done. If you feel like this video helped you out, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you've experienced burnout or something similar, I would absolutely love to know your story. If you want to do some further research into this topic, YouTube has so many great podcasts and videos on it. I looked up peer-reviewed articles and journals on Google Scholar for a lot of the research that I did. And there's also so many podcasts about this topic as well that are run by actual mental health and medical professionals and not a 21-year-old crochet business owner. But thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video because you obviously fucking liked it. You're still here. Thank you again. I love you, and I hope you're having an amazing time wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.